So hello everyone, in this video we'll be discussing another problem, that is next greater element. So this problem states that we are given two arrays nums1 and nums2, so where nums1 is a subset of nums2, and we need to find the next greater element inside nums2 for all the corresponding elements inside nums1, and we need to return an array of all the corresponding next greater elements of nums1. So let us see with the help of an example what this question actually says. So let's take the first example. So we have an array of nums1, that is 4, 1 and 2, that contains 4, 1 and 2 elements. So this array, all these elements are also present in the nums2, because nums1 is subset of nums2. So 1 is present, 4 is present and 2 is present. So we need to find the next greater element of 4, 1 and 2 inside this nums2 array. So what is the next greater element? So the element which is greater to the current element to the right of it. Let's see with the help of an example. Let's take 1 in this case. So we will find 1 in nums2. So nums is present here. So we need to find the next greater element, that is number greater than 1 towards right of it. So 3 is the next greater element, so we will output 3. Let's check for 4. So 4 has no greater element to its right, so we'll output -1. And in the same way 2 is the last element, so there is no element present to right of it, so we will return -1. So we need to have a data structure called map to store our answer in form of key value pair, because here also in this example you can see that 4 corresponds to -1, 1 corresponds to 3 and 2 corresponds to -1 in this example as well. So we will use map data structure to store our answer, where key would represent the element of num1 and the value would be its current corresponding next greater element. In case the element doesn't have the next greater element, we will put -1 in that case. So again the question is how will we find the next greater element? So what we can do here is first we will iterate through nums1 array, and for each element of num1 we can go through the array of nums2 and find its next greater element. But this will take a lot of time and the time complexity would be very large, so this solution will not be appropriate for this problem. So what we can do is we know that nums1 is subset of nums2, so instead of iterating to both arrays, we can just iterate to nums2 array and find the next greater element of all the elements of nums2, and in the final result we will just return the elements that are present in nums1. So this is how we'll approach. And for the next greater element we will use data structure called stack. We will I'll show you with the help of this example. Let's say in this stack we have a top element, and we will iterate through nums2 array, and every time we encounter element we will check the top of the stack. Let's say we are at element 3, so we will check the top of the stack, that is 1. So if 1 is lesser than 3, that means the 3 is the next greater element for top of the stack, that is 1. So in the same way we will iterate through entire array and we will find the next greater element for all of the numbers. So let's code it. I'll explain by you side by side, and in the final, after submitting, I will take the second example and I'll dry run this code. So let's do the coding part. So we have n variable for the length of the nums1 array, m for the length of nums2 array. We have declared a stack and we have created a map, and now we will keep on iterating to the nums2 array. So while our stack is not empty, stack should contain some element so that we can compare to the top element of the stack, and like stack top element st dot top is lesser than nums2 of I. If that is the case, like if stack top element, that is 1, is lesser than nums2 of I, that is 3, that means we found the next greater element for 1, so we will store that in a map. So map of st dot, not map, we have declared as mp, so mp of st dot top, next greater element for this top element would be equal to current element of nums2 array, and after finding this we will pop that element from the stack because we found for that and we know we don't need that element anymore right now. Elsewhere we will just pushing the element onto a stack because we will find the next greater element for further elements also. So to like store the answer which is currently stored in a map, what we can do is like iterate through nums1 array, and we will take only those elements that are present in like nums1 array. So for that mp of so like we are not creating a resultant array for our answer because we need to return a vector, so we will just like make changes in the nums1 array, nums1 vector. So we will make changes as like first we will check if that element is present or not. If that element is present, then we will store it or replace it, otherwise we'll replace it with -1. So we'll first find in a map. So if that element is present, that means its next greater element would be equal to map corresponding position in the map of nums1 of I. Else we don't have that element inside map, so we will put -1 in that case. And finally we will return that nums1 array. So let's check if it is working. Let's submit this. So yeah, this was accepted. So now let us take this second example to dry run this code. So I'll just copy this. So basically in our code we have stack which have some elements, we have map which have some elements, and we have a final output array. So we will like write output here. So first we are iterating to nums2 array. So nums2 array is 1 2 3 4 element. So first the stack will be empty, so this while condition won't run, and we will just push 1 into a stack. Next element, that is 2. So stack is not empty, and we'll check this condition if stack top element is lesser than current element. So yes, 1 is lesser than 2. That means we found next greater element for 1, which is 2. So we will store it in a stack. So 1 have next greater element as 2. So we will store it in a map. After finding for 1, we will pop 1 out because we don't need that element anymore, and we will push that 2 because this while loop won't run at that moment. So similarly for 2, we will find out 3 is the next greater element. Again we will pop that out and push that 3 into our stack. Again for 3, we will find out that 4 is our next greater element, so we'll pop that 3 out and we'll push that 4 into our stack. Now we don't have any element left, so this for loop will get over, and now we need to like basically output our answer. So for that, first we will like iterate through nums1 array. So our output will currently look like 2 comma 4 because we are doing changes in nums1 array only. So we'll find first that if our element is present in a map or not. So first check 2. So is 2 present? Yes, 2 is present in a map. So we will take that value corresponding in a map. So 2 has corresponding value of 3. So we will replace it with 3. Nums1 of I would be replaced with corresponding value of that nums1 of I that is present in a map. So now next element is 4. We will check if the 4 is present in a map. So we don't see like any on the left side that 4 is present. So 4 is not present. So for that case we will output -1 in that case. So this would be a final output array would look like, and we will return this as an answer, and we will see that here also the output is same. So hope you understood this solution. Thank you.